2, 3.
Good
We're
night,
live, Mr. Wade.
good night to our Belizean people, both at home and abroad. To all those who view us and listen to our program, I want to say a pleasant good night or good afternoon, and wherever part of the world you're at, as we have been viewed around the world. Um, for those who will view us a little later, I want to say good night. And always it's a pleasure to sit in the company of Mr. Leonard Brackett,
Pleasure
and
is
he
mine too,
is
sir.
there. And then we will be joined also by our next senior panelist, Mr. Gregory Brackett. And also we have to schedule with us tonight is Mr. Gregory Morrison, one of our frequent flyer. He will, as soon as he would get to, you know, tune in, he will. Um, we welcome Leonard. We welcome anyone who like to be participate in our program, wherever you are. Just send us a message and or invite, and we will gladly receive you. So don't feel any way. We don't care who you are. If you want to join us, we welcome you. And always, before we start our program, we start with a prayer and then a reading. And again, for the public out there who hasn't heard me saying this, we are not pastors, nor it's not a church service, but we serve one God,
Amen.
and that's the God that we serve, and we know that there is a God, and we give Him thanks and praise every day, and to every time we come on this program, we acknowledge our Creator. And again, tomorrow is promised to no one. So give thanks and praise for this day, for the air we breathe, and for what the good Lord had made possible for us today. So we must give thanks and praise. And on that note, I call on Mr. Leonard Brackett to lead us in a prayer.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'll just bow my head, sir. Divine loving Father, thou who art the creator of heaven and earth and all that in them are, thou who art our creator as well, into thy hands we commend ourselves, asking that thou would continue to have mercy upon us. Pray that thou mayest bless our family members, friends, and loved ones, each and every one of them, as if they were mentioned by name and number. Thou knowest our hearts, our desires, even our most secret thoughts. We pray that thou mayest bless our country of Belize, its people and leadership, that thou mayest bless this country of the United States, its people and leadership as well, and that thou would bless the rest of humanity in a special way, especially those people who have need of food and clothes and shelter, and those who are in tornadoes or hurricane or flooding or uh, others who are in earthquakes, as well as volcano eruptions and wars. Lord and Father, we pray that thou mayest have mercy upon those who are in wars, who sometimes are being hurt for no justifiable reason. Please bless this program for us, that whatever we have to say or do, may it accrue to some positive public benefit to our Belizeans at home and abroad and others. For we ask these mercies in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Are you
Amen.
back, Mr.
Thank
Chairman?
you.
You're welcome,
Thank you,
sir.
Leonard. Thank you for that warm prayer. And it touches everyone because the country do need prayer, and the world need prayer. I don't know how anyone sees it otherwise, but that's the way I see it. Um, we're seems to be chipping in the end times, so we must prepare ourselves. Leonard, I will do a reading from Ecclesiastes chapter 9, 1 to 10.
Yes, sir.
And it reads, "But all this I laid to heart, examining it all, how the righteous and the wise and their deeds are in the hands of God, whether it is love or hate, man does not know, but are before him. It is the same for all, since the same events happens to the righteous and the wicked, to the good and the evil,
Mm-hmm.
to the clean and the unclean, to him who sacrifices and him who does not sacrifice. As the good one is, so is the sinner. And he who swears is as he who shun an oath. This is an evil in all that is done under the sun. But the same event happens to all. Also, the hearts of the children of man are full of evil,
Mm-hmm.
and madness is in their hearts while they live, and after that they go to the dead. But he who is joined with all the living has hope. For a living dog is better than a dead lion. For the living who for the living know that they will die, but the dead knows nothing, and they have no more reward, for the memory of them is forgotten. Their love and their hate and their envy have already perished, and forever they have no more share in all that is done under the sun. Go eat your bread with joy, and drink your wine with a merry heart, for God has always approved what you do. Let your garments be always white. Let not oil be lacking on your hands, on your head. Enjoy life with the wife who you love all the days of your vain life that he has given you under the sun, because that is your portion in life and in your toil at which your toil under the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever your hands find to do, do it
It will.
with your might. For these is no work or knowledge or wisdom in short, to which you are going. Again, I saw that under the sun the race is not to the swift, nor the battle is not to the strong, nor bread to the wise, nor riches to the intelligent, nor favor to those with knowledge, but time and chance happens to them all. That's my reading, Leonard, from Cliches. Chapter 9, 1 to 10. So, live your life the way you think it's right for you to live, because the Almighty will accept you. He will judge you. If you have done right, He'll judge you for right. If you've done wrong, He will judge you for wrong. So, enjoy your life.
Amen.
Leonard, as tonight,
Amen,
you
sir.
know, is a night that, Wednesdays, I try to bring to the nation, things that had happened and things that are happening. I say things that had happened and things that are happening. Um, we talk on this program about real life challenges. We talk on this program about real things that happens in the nation and to the poor and less fortunate. We talk on this program about things that our leaders, elected or non-elected, does, whether it's by the constitution of this land or not, or by law or not. We talk about it. Some of the news outlets that should inform the nation on what's really happening had failed
Mm-hmm.
to inform the nation rightfully on a balanced scale. Balanced scale. You see, when the UDP is in power, you see how the scale is balanced in terms of what they put out there for public consumption. When the PUP in power, we see what the news media houses put out there for public consumption and how they put it to benefit who they want it to benefit, to look bad on who they want it to look bad. Because, my people, let no ghost fool you. Our people are being informed through the media. And also, let's not fool ourselves that there are people, real people in the country that does not have access to information, to the news. They don't have internet. So they are black off. They are misinformed. But trust me, when the politicians want them to hear their message,
Mm-hmm.
they go to the length and breadth and back on the horse's back,
Mm-hmm.
on paddling on canoes to take their message. I'm just saying, this is real, because in some places in the country of Belize, it's not accessible by road properly. They either reach one point and they got to embark and walk to their homes, to the villages. This is nothing new I'm talking about. And we are in the 21st century, 2025. So, all this, what I'm saying is that I'm saying it for a reason. Because when the leaders, so-called leaders, go to the people's house, not the UDP house, nor the PUP house, goes to the house of the nation, the people's house, and they passes laws, Leonard. They passes all these illegal SOEs,
Mm-hmm.
illegal laws to crucify, broke, break the backs of the poor and less fortunate. They go there and what they say, oh yes, we have informed the people, the people, listen to the words that these crooks use, We have informed the people, we have educated the people, we had consulted the people. That's the word that these guys does. I have a problem. I call some people quick to, oh, he's honorable this and honorable. They're not honorable to me, right? In
Yeah.
my humble opinion,
Scoundrels.
I could never open my mouth and call these people honorable. Why? One thing, I know who they are. So, here we have another situation. We're not going to talk about the constitution that they are bastardizing. We're not talking about the illegal laws that they had passed and are perfecting it. We're not talking about uh, the illegal SOEs that they had passed and the pain that they have inflicted on some Belizean, some of us. We are not talking about all the illegal laws. That we're talking about another law that they are passing, the 13th Amendment. And what strikes me, Leonard, this gentleman, Mr. Well, I won't even call him a gentleman. I'll call him Mr. Henry Charles Usher,
Mm-hmm.
right? And not too couple days ago, he's on the media, open house, saying that, you know, it's the 13th Amendment is going back to the House for a second reading, and they're pretty sure that, they have done a good job and they had consulted the people, and the PUP is a participative government, and they are about people, and they will not do nothing behind the backs of the Belizean people, and they have been consulted. And that guy didn't even say, well, you know what? I'll retract that word, consulted the people, because the only people we consulted was some people in Belize City and some in Belmopan. That was it. That was that's what they call consultation. And again, they go when if he says we have consulted the people. See, how does one text that? Well, everybody should know about this 13th Amendment, because this man said we consulted the people. So everybody know. Now you decide, right? If you have heard that in your village, in your town, or they have visited any part of the which country, a part of the country that they have visited in terms of that word consulted the people. But we'll talk about that because it's a big issue. I think it's time for now this PUP that is in government. It is time. If it was the UDP that was in government, I would have been saying the same thing, but to the UDP. But now the PUP, it is time that they realize and they know that not everything that they are doing germane with some people. Not all the illegal things that they are doing in this country is going to fly free without no opposition. Well, I mean, they paid opposition because they're dormant, right? But we're talking about other people, regular Belizeans. We are very vocal, especially here on the Belizean Affairs show. We are very vocal on issues that does not germane to our constitution. We are very vocal and we point out where they are doing wrong. They do not want to hear that, or some of their minions do not want to hear what we got to say in respect of calling out the wrongs that their government, I mean their party does. So there's that we want to talk about, and I visited. I had contested as an independent candidate and for Kaya Central, and I had visited one of my area again today. I was in that area, right? The area in San Marcos, right? And this chairman, I want to call him out. But before I call him out, real quickly, Leonard, how they elect chairmans in San Marcos.
Mm-hmm.
The minister, whether it's PUP or UDP, just go to a certain house, and he plucked someone out of that certain house and said, "This is your chairman." Right? That is how it is done in the village of San Marcos. Has done and continue to do that way. Because this man, this guy again, I forget, because he's so dumb. Balona. He went to this village and he picked Mr. Maldonado for his chairman. Not elected by the villagers. Villagers did not approve of that, as always, but who cares? That's what, the villagers, I mean, who cares? They could rail up, but turn a deaf ear. So I try to tell you guys how they select chairman in the village of San Marcos. The area representative go to a certain house. Well, you know which house he's going to go. He's not going to, if a PUP, he's not going to a damn UDP house. No, he's going to one of his PUP fanatic and say, well, you are this chairman for this village for right now. I bless you with that, with the chairmanship. So, and there's an issue there, Leonard, that the roads and school is getting started.
Yes, sir.
Children will be commuting, Leonard, and it's a damn shame to see the gravity of the situation of the so-called little Picado roads, little muddy roads and dirt, bush going over these roads that they fail to make well for the children to come out, and especially when the children are been then they hijack children, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
children are going missing, especially young girls. This one family told me they have two young girls going to college, and they got
Mm-hmm.
to walk out of that bush, and that mud out to a certain spot out so that they could catch a transportation to go to school, right? And they brought that up to this chairman, Leonard. I just say it, and I'm saying it publicly because it's from the horse's mouth. The villagers says that. The chairman told them that, you see, this part of the road here that you guys talking about, it's B&E. He said B&E should fix it, right? They have a deal that they should. They are the one. No, come and tell me about that or tell Balona. No, go to B&E. So the BNE get on the votes then, Mr. Balona and the rest of you. No, that is your responsibility. Why are you lying to these people? And Leonard, you could see where the Mennonite, they do a good job, fixing their surrounding area, but they go to a certain point and
Mm-hmm.
they stop. So don't you think that the representative or the PUP or UDP government should, take up the other little piece and make it well? I think it's the right thing for them to do, but no, they're blaming it on the BNE. That's the people that is taking out the gas out of this country, right?
Now, can I ask a question, Mr. Chairman? Um, I know that B&E used to have some trucks that they used to load with the gas and take it down to the terminal, you know,
Big Creek.
for the ship. Are those trucks running on that same piece of road and
No,
digging up the road? Maybe.
no,
Okay. So
no.
why are they going to tell the people that the people need to talk to the B&E people for B&E to fix it when it is their job as the chairman and as the area representative to represent those people and speak up on their behalf? That is to say,
Yeah,
if they need to go to B&E, do that. They are the one in
exactly.
position to be able to deal with those people rather than the individual person living in a small community. But I'm sorry, I just wanted to
No, you no
clarify.
that's a valid point. That's a valid point. So Leonard, my point is right here, right now, to our program. We
Yes, sir.
hope that you know the PUP people and the leaders and the chairman would have some sympathy or have some you know
Do
some
their
kind
job.
of a duty bound,
Just do their job. That's
a
what
duty bound, right?
that's what
To do the
representation
right
means.
thing. And I'm pretty sure, Leonard, that this same chairman who lives in that same little village walked that same damn road.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure of that. And have his children walking that same road. Who does that? Who does that? So, we're looking at real life. We're looking at children. We're looking at poor families in these places, Leonard. Nothing but these people living in poor, you, you know, I don't want to use the word, but I'm saying, they live very poorly, right? Like I say, if they have to be walking out to a certain point, that means they don't even have a bicycle, Leonard, right? That means they don't even have a bicycle. So where is the heart? And yet you hear about these people, Leonard, free education. Oh no, we have the best education, but the price that the parents pay to get their children to school is unbelievable. Unbelievable. The extent they go through to walk their children from point A to point B in those kinds of conditions. It's so sad. And Leonard, I say this, and my people, this isn't just happening today. It's just happening. This has been going on many years now. But who cares? Who cares? So the little I can do, the little public service I can do, Leonard, is to call him out. Right? That's the little I can do to call him out. I don't have the money to put a grader there and give them a little smoothness, right? But at least I can tell the ones them that has the equipment and are being paid to do that job.
Hmm.
Do your job. Do the right thing. Again, remember we're dealing with people, real people, not people on piece of paper or people that they make out of a cardboard box. No, we do not. Real people bleeds real blood, breathes the same air that you breathe. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. very, very ashamed of yourself. Do the right thing. Help these people, right? Um, Leonard, not on our last program, we also talk about the 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 back to school, Leonard. You know what the deal is right now, too? They even get the police force involved, though, the police department. That school bag fighting right now with different area representative politics, politics. See the PUP area representative, especially in the West there, posing with the distribution of a $10 bag and $3 of pencil and a couple of exercise, and that's what he posing with these kids up for, right? And why is he? My question is, why is he doing it, right? Why is he doing it? So then you have other entity donating money for school bag, and then you have another one. This is the UDP one entity, trying to outdo the PUP entity that is buying these bags, and then they're calling the bags fake bags to promote whatever, right? But it's a damn shame how they use the children for their political mischief. Use the children and the police department for their political mischief. What else will these people do if they could stoop that low? That's very, very low stooping. I don't know whose eyes you turn doing that. I don't know. But, you know, there is lots of money in the education department, Leonard, for the department to actually do the right thing for the parents, on the
Mm-hmm.
children, on the schools, on the teachers. They are getting a hell of a lot of money to do the right thing, but yet they do not do the right thing with that money. Money gets squandered, and you hear like only 3 years after that, you hear so much money missing from this department, from that department, and am I talking anything stupid? No.
Wasn't it last week or earlier this week that some report came out that money is missing from one of the other departments as well?
Yes,
And it's
sir.
an
Last
ongoing process.
last week,
And those
Leonard.
are
Last
those are
week.
only the one that we hear about.
Yeah, that's the one away from the transport department. This is a different one, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, what I'm saying is that you know there is money, there is taxpayers' dollars to suffice the nation's children for that same damn thing when they say free education, right? There is enough money for that, and then that free education would come to reality in the actual word free if you use the money to do what it is intended to do.
Mm-hmm.
That what is so hard in that to do? You are already getting a handsome salary, kickbacks, perks. You, Mr. Minister, you, Mr. Heads of Department, you, Mr. CEO. What else you guys want? But yet you will hear down the road so much money missing from your department. And sadly, what irks me, none of you been investigated, charged, nor been in prison. 2025, nothing has been done because the same crap happens every time. UDP, PUP, same thing. And who suffers? Who suffers? Who has to pay these money back? Right? Or who suffers because this money was misappropriated because it didn't go to where it was intended to go. So people suffer. And that is what is going on in this country. Right? You have a man, Mr. Rikena Bata, a drill truck to drill a well, to drill wells for 3 point something million dollars. What the hell is wrong with that picture? I wonder where the pieces are right now. Not too long ago, Leonard. Not too long ago, not even maybe 2 years ago. There's nothing wrong with that. The truck is there, and that's what it costs. Nobody went and actually find the invoice and do the proper investigation. Who bought that truck? Who was the tender? Who brought it? Where it was bought from? How much they paid on duty? How much they paid for that truck? Nobody did that. Or maybe if they did that, they had some bogus receipt to show you. But yeah, that's what the taxpayers pay for that truck that drills for water, Leonard, for the people. And I haven't heard any well that that truck had, that drilling equipment had done it. I haven't heard. Maybe they did, but I haven't heard it. Right?
Is it still operational?
That's what I'm. Well, you
And do they
heard what
still
I
have it?
said. I
And do
said
they
I
still have it?
wonder. Yeah, I said I wonder where the pieces is at.
Most
That's what. It's
most likely it was a second-hand setup anyhow, and
so
somebody
sad.
we're paying more for second-hand something so that somebody else will get a little something on the
So
side.
so my big thing is, and my ranting right now is about the education system. It's not the first time we've been talking about this, Leonard, for many years now. Hasn't been perfect, hasn't gotten any better. And especially now, Leonard, the health care in the nation of Belize getting worse, worse, and worse, right? But
Mm.
yet you hear from them it's getting better and better and the best the Belizean people have ever got in 43 years. You decide. There's the big hullabaloo about that Treasury Hospital, Leonard, that was supposed to have built close to the sewer in Belmopan. $91 million worth of hospital. Treasury Hospital, right? Where is the money? And I know the land owner that had owned that land got hefty amount of millions from the taxpayers for that piece of land close to the sewer for that hospital, which hasn't even started, but money is gone. So, in my personal view, that money, that mean that hospital will never build. As you hear big theory, they're building in San Pedro. We are bigging up building hospital because the government of Belize had not put a penny. These are a lot of money from other sources, right? But the one that's supposed to for the people that much needed hasn't they don't start building it yet, right? So when you travel around the country, you see the extent of inadequacy in these hospital, Leonard. I'm talking from doctors to nurses to the facility to the equipment to medication. So sad, right? To see how these people are treated, Leonard, when they go and visit these public hospitals. I invite CNN, I would invite CNN and all the outside news media to come and visit our healthcare facilities, right? How would man, I would be glad if these people would come here and expose to the world the kind of treatment that people get in these government run hospitals. And lastly, Leonard, our most of our um, importers of medication are hand little pick cronies, right? And most of our medication are coming from across the borders here, whether it's Salvador, Guatemala, or Mexico. The good ones that was coming from the Germany, India, uh, outside over there, Leonard, all the Russia, the United Kingdom, most of those medication that was coming from there, Leonard, is no more. Why did that happen? That happened because the medication that is coming from the Central American countries around here is cheaper, right? The government save money. Briseño and his cartels save money, right? And they get to that money they save, they get to push it around wherever they want it to go. Um, and it's so sad that a lot of these medication are not, to me, they're not worthy to be on the shelves of these pharmacies in Belize. That is my humble opinion, and that's how I see it, and that's how I feel.
Well, you had experience in that area before too, Mr. Chairman. So it's not like you're talking above your own head.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're
Thank you.
welcome, sir.
Thank you. So, all we are doing here, Leonard, on our program is to advocate for our people, right? That's all we are doing, right? Because we see that the bad things that they do to our people and we talk about it. That's all we are doing. So, as for our haters who do not like us to speak this way, tough luck. You'll keep hearing it. All you gotta do is close your ears. That's all you gotta do. And on that note, Leonard, I want to pass it over to you because I know you also, want to expound more on like myself, on the 13th Amendment, right? Um,
Uh,
on
if
any one of the item that I talk about that is so dearly to me is our healthcare and our education, Leonard. So dear to me, right? You have the floor. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Uh, as you said or intimated just now, I would like to indulge in a little talk regarding the 13th Amendment, because when it was originally drafted, it was drafted in secrecy, despite the fact that they were getting a lot of blowback about the illegal SOEs. And according to them, they wanted to perfect their shortcomings on those illegal SOEs by modifying the Constitution. But they were so onerous in their attempt to be vindictive and malicious towards members of the population, the very same people who elect them to office, that they decided to use treachery and power play against the people who give them the opportunity to become the government and therefore be able to do their big hustle. So let me jump off of that particular uh, portion. I want to deal with the 13th Amendment by asking you if you would let me read an article that I wrote not too long ago. I think it was sometime yesterday, as a matter of fact. I published it or put it up for the first time in the media. And it goes like this. The following commentary was made by Leonard Brackett in regards to the pup-led Belize government persisting persistent attempts to bastardize the Belize constitution. And I titled the article or the commentary, The 13th Amendment Proposal to Belize Constitution. I went on to say, this Kafla pup-led government of Belize is trying to take us, all black Belizeans, for fools, with ramming down our throat the proposed 13th Amendment of Belize Constitution, which violates Section 2, Subsection 1, and Section 6, Subsection 1, and Section 11, Subsection 1, as well as Section 13, Subsection 1, and Section 16, Subsection 1, and Section 18, Subsection 1, and Section 20, and 93, as well as Section 94 and 95, and others inclusive. I went on to say, these Kafla rascals and scoundrels conspire in cabinet to promote and make onerous laws instead of following their oaths and the Belize Constitution, to which they swear fidelity and allegiance to serve the Belizean people without malice or fear or favor. I proceeded to stipulate as well by saying, and they should stop bastardizing it, the Constitution of Belize, whilst acting like demons on crack or something else, as they hide behind the powers of governors and they harm Belizeans with disdainfulness and disregard and impunity at that. And they chance some poverty-stricken, marginalized black Belizeans whom cannot afford lawyers or legal representatives to defend their constitutional enshrined fundamental rights, which the Belize government is precluded from violating or derogating. I further stated, when the Belize Constitution demands or requires consultation, which is the favorite term that they are now bantering around, consultations. I'll read that part again just for emphasis. When the Belize Constitution demands, as it does, or requires, as it does, consultations with the plebiscite or voters, it says there shall be a referendum. It doesn't say there shall be a consultation of a couple dozen people, and then you go ahead and abrogate or take away or violate the rights of all the rest of the population, almost 500,000 people, because you so-called want to use the term consult or consultations in regards to meeting your obligations under the Constitution that demands when it says there shall be, not maybe, shall be a referendum. A referendum is not the same as what you jackals are doing when you talk about consultation. They had two consultations, one in Belmopan, one in Belize City. How much of the 500,000 people were consulted? Now they want to run ahead and pretend that because they did what they call consultation for a few dozen people, that then authorizes them or grants them the right to abrogate people's enshrined fundamental rights. That's a violation of the Constitution. I went on to say, it says there shall be a referendum for the voters to agree or disagree for government derogation of their or tampering with people's enshrined fundamental rights as directed in the referendum required under the Representation of the People's Act. And I think that's supposed to be Cap 9 as of right now. I also went on to stipulate, lastly, that they should follow the Constitution and abide by what is required under the Representation of the People's Act when it says there shall be a referendum, and conduct the damn referendum. Stop running away from the referendums. While at the same time you're trying to hijack the people's fundamental rights that you have no powers to deal with in the first place. And not the bogus limited partial consultations that they're currently doing as a dereliction of their duty by supposedly consulting a few dozen people and not the Belizean majority, of whom do not get to exercise their franchise, which is to register and record a vote on these particular fundamental rights, which is a non-compliance to the Belize Constitution when they do it the way they're currently trying to do it. And it is my belief that because they came and read it in the House once before, they're supposed to read it 3 times, and at probably the next sitting, they will come and try to read it maybe 2 or 3 times, the second and third time, in order to expeditiously so-called pass this bogus amendment. And only if people are hurt by it, who are successful enough and financially stable enough to fight it and get it overturned, will there be a redress on behalf of the people, when the people shouldn't have to be put in that kind of situation. Because it is our government. They're supposed to be there not to take advantage of us and to create bogus illegal laws that we have to have the court pronounce as being illegal, when they know before they make it was illegal, and that they were trying to trample on our rights. They don't have the authority vested in them to do that legally, lawfully, and constitutionally. But yet they're going to pretend that they do. And many people will be hurt who will not have the ability to hire lawyers to defend their rights for them. Many of them will end up in jail. Those who go to jail may end up not being able to have a job or lose the one that they had before. They're messing around and messing up on people's whole life, whole family's life, with this punitive, draconian, and illegal behavior of theirs. It should be possible that when they make those kind of bastardized laws to the Constitution, that they can be and should be sued personally so that whatever the judgment comes out, if the court rules on behalf of the people who are aggrieved or hurt, that the money does not come out of the government coffers, that it comes out of some of their pocket. I bet you they will make proper laws, legal and lawful laws, and try to avoid that kind of bastardized behavior. But at the end of the day, they suffer nothing. As a matter of fact, they are being paid to do a job that they refuse to do correctly. I yield back for right now, Mr. Chairman.
Thank
I have
you.
a lot more I would like to say, but
Thank
I
you.
just don't
Thank
want to
you.
monopolize the show, you know.
Thank you.
You're
My
welcome, sir.
people, thank you, Leonard, because we got to constantly remind the people, um, no, 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 forget this thing, man. Like they always say, Leonard, what? Give us Belizean people are very forgiving. Give us on couple days. That's
And blow over like one leaf
yes,
breeze.
blow over like one leaf breeze. That was what they always say.
To
Past
those,
and present government,
to those who don't get affected by it, Mr. Chairman, they're indifferent and they could care less. And that's the
right?
way they look at it.
It's so sad, though, my people. For me, it's so sad to see the extent that this two-party system goes. Whenever they set their eyes on something that they want to do to benefit them,
They don't care what the
and
public
they,
says.
they, they don't care. They will go 101 mile, 101%. They will go overboard to do and to get what they want. And 99% of the time, they get what they want and leave a nation and a people in limbo.
Impoverished.
Yes,
Worse off than when they first
affected.
came in.
Leave a nation and its people affected
Hmm.
for generation to come. Because all these illegal laws that does not benefit the Belizean people that they are passing. When I say I'll take that word that I take it back, does not profit the Belizean people. Not good for it is good for some of the populace, for some, but very bad for the poor and less fortunate who cannot afford representation, right? So, and they know that. They know that the vast majority of Belizeans cannot afford representation on any illegal action or illegal laws that they have passed. No
Hmm.
one will have the energy, the money to hold them accountable or to take them to the highest court in the land, right? So they do it. When I say again, it's sad to see past and present government never, never one day any one of these crooks stand up in the house and says, we will pass a law that the government must have the best healthcare system, the best and free education, not just what they utter verbally, right? And they must lobby to put up factories, put up factories. I'm not talking the BPOs, I'm talking factories, right? Lobby for the same way they go and lobby for their own personal, go and lobby for equipment to make to build a factory so that the Belizean people would profit, gainful employment, so that they could sell their produce, all their produce, to these factories that will can their fruits. Nothing is in it for them. They will not make any money in doing that. So that's a no-no. But like I say, it's so sad to see the things that they go to the end of the earth to get what they want, right? And all about using the Belizean people, using because now this 13th Amendment here, Leonard, should be in their eyes, good for the Belizean people, right? So um, whatever they're injecting in there for the police and the ministers and this and that and that and that, no, that's something that's just a little side thing. But the essence of that it is good for the Belizean people. You know, here they mention much about what's in that 13th Amendment that will benefit a minister, past and present, or benefit the security forces that does evil to you, or benefit the government that you will not be able to sue them, right? So, as for me, this 13th Amendment, you watch how it started, or it's been perfected, or it's been generated, and watch what really had caused it when they came publicly right after a ruling from a
Court,
judge,
the High Court.
right?
Hmm.
And the ruling goes like this, Mr. Briseno government, the People's United Party, you got to pay X, Y, and Z so much money for the crimes and the pain you inflicted on that individual. That's where it started, right? And they say, you know what? We know that on that, the courts had ruled before and our other way to do this, and we had never done it. We have always tell them to shove it. We will not do what the court order, and it's there publicly to see how they behave on a ruling, right? They do not honor a ruling because they are the government. They are the boss. They are big people. Nobody could tell them nothing.
The scofflaws and scoundrels, sir.
So the 13th Amendment started then, and then these suckers ain't stupid. They know that, the Dean Barrow administration may do the same thing, from 2018. So you know what? We will take this law to be effected way from 2018, 13th Amendment. It's from 2018, anything that the government, including the UDP, that they did to Uno, and that we, the PUP, are doing to Uno now, Uno can't sue it. No, no, no. Because we make one law that you cannot do it. Right? Short and it's a layman term, I talk, you know, for the regular Belizean people to understand what's going on. Right? And then, for future reference, this is what it is. You cannot, anything that we do, all these illegal SOE, we just flip it, and from SOE we call it gang something, gang law or something.
Special areas.
Flip, flip the script, the script. These suckers are evil, Leonard. These people. And whose hands are these suckers biting? The same very hands that go and give them that X. The very same hand that give them that X so that they can inflict more pain on you, right? When you really think about it, right? So this is what it is with these guys, right?
18 different times, Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
18
sir.
different times.
Yes, sir.
And the court ordered them to pay for one time.
Yes.
So they have 17 times more when they could get charged with.
And my people, they never put in that 13th Amendment, whenever the man named Ashcraft come and sue we will not give him any more of the Belizean tax dollars. That's the next time law that they should pass. Look, the measly little money, couple of $1,000, a few $1,000 that this Judge Leonard told the senior government that they have to pay. That's
Mm-hmm,
too much money, Leonard, for a black man. Hell
mm-hmm.
no. Go to leave all the black boy know that go smoke weed and go hang out about and what the hell he gonna do with so much money? No, cannot happen. But let Mr. Ashcraft come. Oh yes, in
They could
one
find
day,
they could find hundreds of millions.
in one day, I've always called this one day. 76. That is just only one time, I attack. I know attack will happen in a UDP right time because this man bleed from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
He bleed the taxpayers through the UDP government, bleed the taxpayers through the PUP government several times.
Over $1 billion, Mr.
He
Chairman.
has his hands in pretty much everything that concern government in this country. That same man. That one man, Lord Ashcroft. Sue me. Right? The man just have to sneeze and the government of the day say, sign
How,
is
how
76.
much? How much?
Right? Or let's go in this little room, make we negotiate. So much for you, so much for me, so much for you, so much for this one, so much for that one. And this man has his players in all level of government, especially in the Ministry of Finance. That's where he have
A
his
lot of his.
number one player, right?
Mm-hmm.
Players. So what is this man doing to our nation or has been doing? And where are the money? Where is the taxpayers' money that the governments with an S after day is giving this man taxpayers' money?
Where that money
Is
come
it
from?
is it
Where
here
it
in
come from?
Belize? And he went to fight us too, and he wanted it in US dollars too, at one point.
He
And
did get it.
who was his attorney?
He did get it. Twice
And
as much
who
money.
was his attorney fighting the Belizean taxpayers, winning a case so that they get so much money from the Belizean purse, taxpayers' purse, and give it to this man?
The unelected one.
Huh? Who is this devil? Does that? And he's a supposedly born Belizean. Supposedly. Right? I know I'm a born Belizean. Right? But I say he supposedly be I may be wrong though, right?
But
So
Mr.
don't
Weird,
quote me.
Mr. Weird, the man stand up in our Senate and tell away that we know we are not important. We are of no significance.
Wow.
You know.
Wow.
Then for him, boss, of course, I don't know which one are really the boss, whether that he are the boss that the
So
prime minister are the boss, because I would have say, well, for him, boss being the prime minister, he himself turn around and tell me we don't need to be bothered about no kind of issues or policies going on in the state, in the country, because those policies of state only relate to the majority, not us, because we're the minority. That's how barefaced this man is.
and this man appears to be, you know, um
Uh,
mad with the government of the day, right? He appears on his station not too long ago Well, the PUP government is this and that, and then the UDP government is this and that and that and that too, right?
until he could haul and
Which
pull them.
devil? Which devil does that, you know? Because he haul and pull that same one he talk about, and he haul and pull the same one, and then he says, a third party would never make it. Why? Because have you ever financed a third party? Well, I'm asking you to our medium here, Mr. Lord Ashcroft. Have you ever financed a third party yet? No, you would never finance a man like me.
He wants his returns.
You'd never give me $1. There's a reason why. Right? So you come on your station and you talk about the PUP and UDP and they're bad for Belize and this and that. They are, but no one would want to vote for a third, but they don't have the money. You're damn right they don't have the money because
He was
well,
boasting. When he said that, he was boasting. He wasn't being idle. He
exactly
was
right.
boasting. They got to come to him. If anybody wants to succeed, they need the money, so they have to come to him. The other two came before, and
Yeah.
that's why they were successful. Anybody else that wants to be successful, they got to come to him.
Amen.
That was what he was
Amen to that.
saying.
Amen to that. Right. So, like I say, until you evils are no more, I don't see Belize getting any better. Until you evils, the two-party system, in my humble, they're evil. Along with the same man I talk about, very evil people, and along with his attorney that helped him fight the Belizean people, evil people, very evil. And I say this to say that in any event, whatever you do here, don't think that you will take all those millions with you. You would never, never take it with you. But you will pay for it here, though. You will pay for whatever you do wrong.
Mr. Chairman, the same person we made, both of us made reference to earlier about being able to provide financing for the political
But fine.
endeavors. He was saying that the older folks, I mean, the two party, well, he referred to one particular party. The older folks, I mean, the UDP party, should give up and move on because they are dinosaurs. And
Who made
because,
them dinosaurs?
I was coming there, but wait.
Oh, go
Um,
ahead.
yeah, just a minute. Yeah, they are dinosaurs because they're not now willing to follow his lead anymore. They are tired of his shenanigans and his pressure in them. So now he wants a fresh group that will come to him for him to finance. But he's calling the other guys them dinosaurs,
Dinosaurs.
and he doesn't look in the mirror to see how he personally look. The man is close to his grave.
Very.
He has a lot of
Yeah.
skin problem. He doesn't put nothing makeup on his face when he gets on the TV, so you can see all the cracks on his face and all the blotches and everything else that's going on with him physically. And the man can afford to do better. But it's not like he can't tell the people on the TV,
But
fix
Leonard,
him up.
don't
He
forget
don't
the
call the
amount
other
of
guys there.
power.
He don't call the other guys there. What was
Dinosaurs.
the word? Dinosaurs. And he is all on all of them, and he look worse shape than any of them.
Yeah.
But
Very good.
I mean,
Now, what I'm saying is that
yeah,
you
money, money,
know,
money.
a one man bleed the Belizean patrimony, bleeds the Belizean taxpayers, where all this money that he had gotten through, and it's all through the courts, Leonard, all through class action suits that man gained his riches in this country with the help of a couple of attorneys. Belizean born, Belizean attorney, and these are the very same people, attorneys that in government, and they say they love our Belizean people and they love our country. And they hold up their right hand and they swear allegiance. Who does that?
Mr. Chairman, from the time that
Judas does that.
from the time that that gentleman has been involved in the affairs of our country, we call this Belizean affairs, right? From the time that gentleman has been involved in the affairs of our country, That gentleman has extracted not less than $10 billion. Billion with a B, I'm talking about, not just, you know, some other billions, not
and
less
more
than $10
coming.
billion. Dollars. You imagine
And
what $10 billion could do for Belize right now? Pay off its international debt and have enough money to make some forward progress into the future.
Leonard, I'm sad to say this, and he's looking to get more. He hasn't finished yet with the Belizean taxpayers and the Belizean people yet. He hasn't finished. The only time he will be finished is when he's no more. That is my humble, based on the way he has been operating in this country.
As a
Right?
minimum, Mr. Chairman, the man is getting $25 million every year for the next 5 years as a minimum in order to fulfill that contract that was signed. When in fact the man only going to make about 12 to $13 million off of the port. Now he declare instead of 12 or 13, he declared 25 per year after having gotten almost a half a billion.
So,
Crazy
so
stuff,
Leonard, I
man.
say this to say these are just highlighting things, and we we highlight the situation in our healthcare, the situation in our education system, and other departments.
So
Um, we highlighting this especially to show that the amount of bastardization of our patrimony, our taxpayers' dollars, where it's gone, and where it could have been put to good use, so the people of this country would benefit from a better hospital system, better healthcare, with all the with all the proper equipment that is needed and is not in the hospitals. With all this money that this man sue the Belizean people, because
Mr.
my
Chairman,
people.
could I ask you a quick question, sir? What would preclude or stop these people in the government of Belize from performing a little better on behalf of the people of Belize? I mean, I don't know if it's too much of an outrageous question. I hope it's not. But what do you think that these people can do a little better? Or let me put it like this, a different way. Don't you think that these people could do a little better than what they're doing right now without hurting their hustle? I mean,
Amen to
that's
that.
another way. That's another way of asking the
Yes,
question,
yes,
right?
yes.
Why can't they, or why shouldn't they, or why don't they?
That's a very good question, man. And my only answer on that is where I see is greed. Greed and greed and greed and greed and power. Greed, greed, greed by our officials, by our ministers, by the two-party system. That's all I could see. Right? So I say this, my people, based on what you heard here from us tonight, think about all the money that's gone, and think about how that money that is gone just like that, how that money could, if it have stayed in the coffers,
Mm-hmm.
and put it, in the education system, in the hospitals, and
The
in the
schools.
agriculture system, and provide for our Belizean people, the poor and less fortunate, build good roads in your villages, build some homes for the needy, alleviate the poverty that is in this country. Huh? Don't you think that money would would go a long way? Huh?
Mr. Chairman, I have something that's stuck in my craw right now that I heard the Prime Minister try to address recently, as well as Mr. Musa tried to address recently, as well as other individuals from the present PUP-led government of Belize have brought up recently. And that is as regards to the piece of land that they were saying they want to try and find a way to take away from Mr. Boots Martinez, who acquired the land apparently under false pretext for less than what it could have been worth at the time. My question is, why is the Prime Minister so hot under his collar right now to dispossess that gentleman of that property without following what the Constitution requires of the government to do? That once the government authorized the giving of that property to that gentleman, regardless of how aggrieved we all feel about the fact that he paid less for it, he got it, and whatever else benefit he can derive from it, there's a way the Constitution dictates that that matter should be dealt with. But no, they don't want to follow the Constitution as I indicated earlier. They want to act as scofflaw. They want to act as thugs. They want to violate any and everything when it comes to dealing with somebody else. Don't care how onerous it is. But I would like to ask Mr. Prime Minister this question. What about the tens of thousands of acres of land that he and the rest of his family acquired from our patrimony and didn't pay adequately for it? Tens of thousands of acres of land. And tell him Leonard Brackett said so, because I have the evidence to back it up. Okay? Tens of thousands of acres of land between himself and many of his family members, and other tens of thousands for other cronies and friends. Some of the existing members of cabinet right now, okay, own massive tracts of lands, okay, on which they are doing cattle ranching, cane farming, and many other activities. In fact, they have so much lands accrued to themselves that they're not even paying taxes on. Do you know how far that money on the taxes of those lands that they have under their wings could go if it was put into the treasury and paid appropriately? He's not trying to give back any of those tens of thousands of acres that he has, or any of the other ministers them that they have. But they're going to try and bamboozle us into believing that, oh, well, if they fight Mr. Boots and take on Mr. Boots' peace, they're doing us a favor. They're not doing us a favor. They're just showing us how much of a rascals and scamps they are. That is that the more they could thief, they don't want to see one in the thief. They just want you to pay attention to where somebody else is thief. Thief, that thief. Whether your teeth big or your teeth small, you just still want thief. Because you did not get those things properly and legitimately authorized to you. You cannot come as a minister of government and fleece the treasury of the country or take onto yourself the assets of the country, the patrimony of the country that belongs to all of us. Accrue it only onto yourself and your cronies. Our system of government said that it is impermissible, it is not all right for any government officials at that level to feed at the trough and benefit themselves. Okay? It's illegal. So I want to ask the Prime Minister, what about all the massive amount of lands that he took when he was Minister of Lands and has gotten since then under the same land registry department? Okay? Because I, Leonard Brackett, why I'm talking and saying what I'm saying here, was the person who returned to them the computer that they were trying to disappear that had on the evidence of those crimes. Okay? When Mr. Barrow won and became the Prime Minister for the first time, I went to his office and told him about what was happening and about that particular computer that I had taken back to the Ministry of Lands. Okay? So whenever they want, point at me for telling them about themselves, then could.
Sad.
And whenever they want to go to court, the evidence can be had. Because
It's
then
so sad.
just joking themselves when they pretend that they try be so um,
Honorable.
honorable. Okay, they are not honorable, which is why I agree with you that they don't deserve the title attached to their name as being honorable this and honorable that, because they are dishonorable individuals. They are greedy and enchancy. I yield
Based
back,
on,
sir.
thank you. To top it off on what you said there, Leonard, not too long ago when the man Dean Barrow was the prime minister, he got a hold of the documents, some of
Exactly.
some of the
Some. That
documents,
was just a
right?
small amount.
Just a small amount, and he read it publicly for the nation and the world to hear how much land this man had embezzled
And that and that
while
and that bill
he was a land
that was more than
minister
that
in the
was more
People's
than
United
4,000
Party
acres.
government,
That was more
right?
than 4,000 acres that Mr. Barrow
So,
exposed there. Okay.
so you're right there because it's their public record, right? Public record, right? And you see how tables turn, and you see how they all cahooted and stuff, and they know what each one of them are doing, Leonard, and they sit
They,
around and they talk
hold on,
about,
Mr. Chairman, they go into cabinet and they conspire
yes,
against the best interest and well-being of the country,
yeah,
while hiding behind the
yeah.
powers of governance and the policies of state that they
Before
execute their criminal conduct.
before he left office, he told Brisenio that, if you win the next election, you as prime minister, and this is what you will do with BTL.
Exactly.
Right?
So
He
said,
told
so
them
done.
that before. Who could have done that? How he could have known that if they
Because
could.
once you have a
How
prof,
he could know that he have a mind that reads into people's mind,
there is a thing that you
right?
call profiling, Mr. Chairman.
So when I say they're all one, believe me, they're all one. So on that note, I would like to impart this message to the Briseño administration, People's United Party. Stop giving this man, Mr. Lord Ashcroft, easy money through lawsuits, right? You know, it's not your money. Those money that you are, giving this individual, because this is how I see it. He's just giving this individual, right? For however the return is going to be, whether he return so much percentage back to him and his party for giving him what he gets, or a deal they are making. Man, people are
That's
catching
our
on
money.
to this.
That's our
People
money.
are catching.
And we
So
need it.
I say this to say that I just hope and pray that the the next government that comes into power, I'm not talking about the UDP because they're all one. Any government other than the UDP that makes that government, whether in the next 20 years, the next 30 years, the next 50 years, I would like to for them to, of course I will be no more, but
Mr.
I would
Chairman,
like for them.
Mr. Chairman, I know I'll step on your toe in terms of timing because we're almost ready for close. Now I know the wind up. Let, let me throw out a little joke. You think we could get between you and I at least 14 other people that could actually win a seat, and we go and win 16 seats and become the government? You think we could do better than these jackals and hyenas? I mean,
Of course,
I shouldn't even ask you that question, true?
of
I
course, you
should, I
shouldn't
should have,
even ask me that.
I should have just
Because
said, let's get
number
it
one,
done,
on
right?
day one, Leonard, I would pass Uncut. On day one, I don't want out pass Uncut
I'll be
if I
right
would
there
have
with
the
you.
power, right?
I'll be right
Out
there
pass
with you.
Uncut. And on day one, we will start investigate each and every one of them, past and present, on day one. Whether they're 90, 99, 109, 120.
Some of them need to go to jail, not just get
Huh?
dispossessed of the things that they have stolen.
Of
Some of them need to
course,
spend time in the
of
jail, just like
course.
any other regular criminal, because they are criminals, and all they
And,
need to do is
and,
get convicted.
and trust me, we if we I'm talking about a third party government, Leonard, would hold them accountable, hold them accountable for their deeds,
Yes,
it's
sir.
only the right thing to do. So um, I say this to say that, all this, let me continue with all the money that, has been taken out of the country illegally and given to people illegally, right? Because it's not legal what you guys are doing, right? Um, put it into the streets in the villages, right? Improve the living conditions in the villages, right? Improve on the healthcare, badly needed, Mr. Johnny Briseño, badly needed. Improve on the education department, badly needed, right? So, improve the lives of the poor people, not only a myth or talking about it, actually do it. Do it,
Could you spare
right?
a minute, Mr. Chairman? Could you spare a minute before you close off?
Sure.
I just want to
Um,
read. Go ahead. I didn't. Go
and
ahead, sir. Go ahead.
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No, I didn't. I didn't want to take away your thoughts.
No, no,
It
no,
was
go
on a
ahead
roll
because
with
I'm
a
I'm gonna
particular thought.
close. I'm gonna
Oh,
close.
okay, okay.
Right with that's what I wanted
I
to
just want
finish.
to read here from the Constitution of Belize, Part 1, Section 2, Subsection 1, and it reads as follows: This Constitution is the supreme law of Belize, and if any other law is inconsistent with this Constitution, that other law shall, comma, to the extent of its inconsistencies, comma, be void. Where is the government currently racing ahead to try and create an inconsistent law that is violative of the present constitution, which should be ruled as null and void? Why are they still entertaining the idea of wanting to make it a law? Don't care how many times they could make that same law a million times and it will be deemed or
No long boy.
justifiably be deemed null and void. That's what the Constitution requires of that particular law. But they're still hell bent in trying to push it through under the pretext that so long as they can get it done and put on the book, automatically that makes it valid, legal, lawful, or constitutional. It does not. So why are they wasting all that time and effort? I yield back, sir.
Thank you. And on that note, on the 13th Amendment, these people are just trying to, to cover up for the illegal things that they have done, and
Exactly.
trying to, you know, um, that's basically it, right? Making laws to suppress the poor and less fortunate, that they cannot hold them accountable for all the illegal things that they have done, right? Um,
And they're saying that they want to be expropriated not only for the things that they
Stupidly
have done, but the things that they will be doing in the future.
in the future, yeah,
It's a bunch of
exactly.
jackals, man.
So, my people, this
Descendants
is
to jail.
the government that you voted for, and trust me, I don't think that they finished right now with the Belizean people. I don't think they're finished yet. There are lots of more evil
Yeah.
that they will do under the sun. Lots of more evil they will do to you, right? So, I want to thank all those, and I hope that tonight's program, learn a little bit, and you maybe hear something that you didn't know, and we try to educate you, right? And we try to be your voice, because if you notice, we on this program, we are not afraid to say what we see and how we feel about what we see.
Like the
We
Spanish
are not
people would,
afraid to do that.
like the Spanish people would say, Mr. Chairman, no tenemos pelos en la lengua.
Yes, exactly,
We don't have no hair
exactly.
on the tongue.
And with what I first open up with, that, what atrocities that the area representative is doing to these poor people in San Marcos, right? Because that's plain evil, right?
Mhm,
You know,
mhm.
fix their roads so that, Mr. Man, we are in rainy season, man. June to November. Everything will be flooded again. These people will have to put on their rubber boots and put take out their little flashlight, to be back and forth on that road. Have a heart, as to you, Mr. Maldonado, Mr. Chairman, do your job, right? If you cannot do it, well, step aside. Let someone else do it and stop stooping down to these people. You live back there, Mr. Man. You use these same services on the same road that other people use. Your children use the same roads. Have a heart, man, okay? And do the right thing, right? And stand up for your village, okay? And on that note, Leonard, it's always a pleasure, my brother.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Um,
Chairman, for a
you
lovely
know,
program tonight.
Yes, it's always we are about people, Leonard. We're about people and nation. Although a
Mhm.
lot of a lot of people do not like how we speak, Leonard. Honestly, I'm telling you the truth, right?
We're just doing the best we can, Mr.
Right.
Chairman, and
They
if they
don't
don't like
right.
so, well, there's not much more we
Yeah,
can do
right.
for them.
So, but like I said, for those who view us and learn a little something from us, or I'm glad that we are able to do it, Leonard, because there's
Mr. Chairman, on that point that you just brought up just now, I would like to cap off by saying, at least as of right now, we know that we're not being paid or hired by nobody.
Amen,
Where nobody's hired guns other than
Amen,
that of the people,
Amen,
and so nobody can fire us.
Amen.
Okay? So if they don't like what we give them for free, find their money and go buy the services when they want somewhere else. Good luck.
And on that note, Leonard, we'll continue to be a voice for our people. We'll continue to advocate, and we'll continue to do what we do until that very last day. Right? On that
Well,
note,
God
we'll
bless,
say
Mr.
good night.
Chairman.
May God bless Belize. May God bless you, Leonard. May God bless our
Thank you,
show.
sir. Amen.
Amen.
We're gone, like Mr. Moses has said.